Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Welcome to Smoky Gray Saturday. It's the smoke left over from the Black Friday fires. People just going crazy on Black Friday. It was one heck of a day, and we want to help you deal with your Black Friday trauma here on Talking Real Money. You can call us at 855-935-TALK, and we'll help talk you through it. It's real money talk that can make a real difference in your real life. And Black Friday comes, and every once in a while, it really takes it out of you. So we're going to try and help you deal with your Black Friday trauma right here on Talking Real Money. And to help you do just that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you our Black Friday, our Black Friday counselor, Mr. Tom Cock.
I'll tell you what, I'm more of an arbiter than a counselor. But anyway, Black Friday, wow, 7% increase in online sales in the first morning. Bing, bang, boom. The National Retail Federation says sales in November going to increase by about 8.5%. December about 10, and we are back 10.5%. We are back.
What does Black Friday have to do with retail sales? What are you talking about?
Well, that contrasts with an increase of 4%.
The stock market went down. That was the Black Friday I was talking about.
Oh, the burning smell of stocks.
The burning smell of stocks. Okay. Stocks are roasting on an open fire.
I got it now. Okay, you're talking about the market.
The stock market. I think, wait a minute. Yeah, well, they're both money, but I think our listeners probably care more about the fact that the S&P 500 lost 2.25%. And we're not going to mention the other one, the D word. Sorry, do not mention the D word on today's program.
900 points.
No Dow talk.
I didn't say the Dow. I just said 900 points.
Yeah,
it was kind of a rough, and by the way, it was a limited trading session. That's the good news. So we only had a certain number of hours to go down.
If it kept going, it would have been bad.
Bad. I mean, well, that's your news. My news is, listen to this. Yeah. Zoom, Peloton, both up 5.7%. How about Moderna? You know, I loaned them an arm a couple of times. They were up 21%. And on the other hand, Norwegian Cruise Lines, or in Carnival, guess how much they went down? 11%.
A lot.
United Airlines dropping 9.5%, American 8.8%. You get the idea here.
Actually, really,
morning.
The market didn't go down for everybody, so it really depends on how you look at it. You can pick it's kind of like the pick your adventure games, pick your market games. Hey, I was only invested in the ones that went up.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
In the market.
And this is all because of?
Omicron.
Omicron.
It's not Omicron because the O in the Greek alphabet, the long O is Omega, the short O is Omicron.
Omicron.
Which
is already in Africa, Europe, etc. So
I have learned more about the Greek alphabet since COVID than I did in the previous 60-plus years.
I thought I was going to leave it at Phi Delta Theta 50 years ago.
Although my wife can do the whole thing.
Really?
She can do like the Greek alphabet because it was some sort of a sorority pledge thing.
Oh,
that
had
she
to
did.
know the
So
she, whole thing. Oh.
She can do the whole thing. Very impressive.
Okay,
impressive.
so what do we do?
Oh, are we talking about the stock market?
Yeah, I mean, what? Okay, 2.25% you said on Friday.
Yeah.
And what are the futures looking like? I haven't even looked for. I think the market reopens on Monday, right?
Am I supposed to look at futures?
I'm just curious.
Wait a minute. Do we care?
No.
Do we really care what the market does in a day?
It's a put on. I don't care at all. But
no, and we don't care. The only reason I know, I'm serious. This would be the only reason I would have known at all yesterday is that we're driving back from my son's from Thanksgiving, and she goes, "Oh, the market's crashing," and I went,
"We don't use the word crash. First of all,
don't tell me that."
Oh.
And then, of course, love my wife dearly, but here's what she says.
What does she say?
I feel like it's going to go down more.
No.
She
used
like
the F word?
Oh, yeah.
And calls about money?
She goes, I felt it in 2008. And I'm going, did you? Did you really?
After about 3-4 months
Oh,
of it. I felt
no,
it
right
too.
at the beginning.
Ah,
because
okay.
We always repaint the past.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Really, you think? Yeah, I think crazy. Well, here's the good news. Barron's says COVID fears pulled the markets down, but they're going to tell you here's when you should really start to worry. They're serious. That's a real headline. Here's when you should really start to worry. I'll tell you when you should really start to worry, but that's a whole other story on another program, but that's
All right,
not
the
involving
S&P
money.
futures are down a third of a percent, down 16
Okay.
points. The Dow futures are down. Oh, I
I
said
thought
it
you,
again.
you said you weren't going to say it.
I'm slipped.
The index
I slipped.
of whom shall not be
It's a
named.
bad habit.
Oh, sorry. Give
But
the
you know,
number. Let's talk
the
to some
reality
people.
is the reality is if you have a diversified portfolio and you have any bonds, you did okay. The bonds actually went up yesterday. We'll talk more about that. 855-935-TALK.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Is your portfolio a mess? You may have a case of hodgepodgeitis, but don't worry, we can help. Just set up a free, no-obligation meeting with a Vestory advisor at Vestory.com. No sales pitch, guaranteed. That's Vestory.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Because it's really darned important. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Money. I'm Don McDonald. Tom Cox over there. Actually, we're 3,000 miles apart, but he's right there. As far
This
as I'm
is
concerned, thanks to
we're allowed to
technology.
be
he's right
anyway.
there.
Yeah.
Hey, that's one thing I got to tell you. You want to look on the bright side of life? I've got a bright side perspective
buffer?
on Omicron.
Oh, that's true.
Thank God for Omicron. It's an excuse for me to stay in my studio longer. I just don't want to leave. I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, you went out to see your family for the holiday,
And
though.
then
so
the next day we got Omicron. See, that serves me
Good
right. I
point.
shouldn't
Yeah.
have gone out. So yes, I did spend the holiday with my family, which I haven't done in a while, and it was lovely. And then we got in the car and we had Omicron.
You didn't send me any pictures. I sent you our picture.
Because I didn't take any.
What?
My wife probably did. So I'll check with her.
Guessing, so I can just go to face whatever.
If you go to Facebook, you'll find the picture.
I'm not the
And
the
plus it
website
was-
shall not be said. Sure.
The day before was my granddaughter's birthday.
Oh,
So I took pictures there. I have those of my 1-year-old granddaughter's birthday.
my grandsons came over with their turkey hats on.
Of course they
Love
did.
them. Love
course
it.
they did.
Love it. And they left them behind. I'm gonna wear it the whole month now.
Oh, of course you will. He'll do it on the video next week too.
I will, just for that.
Speaking of which,
Uh-oh.
we do need to mention every once in a while. We don't do it very often. That about once a week we do a video version of our podcast, which we call the Video Cast. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're up to 700 subscribers.
It's not that. It's just, is the show that much more interesting to see the two of us rather than just hearing us? I don't know.
Apparently not, because we have 700 subscribers there, and we have thousands of subscribers to the podcast. So
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Go
Anyway,
to
I
YouTube,
wanted-
type in Talking Real Money.
I wanted to give you a phone number that you can use to use us to your advantage. We want to be used by you, by nobody else but you. We want to be used by you alone at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. You know what? Remember, wait a minute. Wasn't it really recently?
Like a week
In fact,
ago.
some of our callers even said,
Yeah.
well, why am I in bonds? Interest rates can't go down any further.
Until
what,
yesterday?
Friday?
Yeah. I mean, what was
Wow.
it? The 10-year went down to less than what?
One and a half.
from 1.6 and a half. I mean,
And that's a big drop.
oh, that's huge. Biggest single day decline since, you may remember this date, March of 2020.
Yeah.
That was kind of a tough time. And that's kind of why you hold bonds at that time, right? Because they keep their value. Unlike other things that are designed to keep your value, like, dare we say it, Bitcoin?
Don't say Bitcoin.
Okay,
I knew
sorry.
I knew
Well,
you
because
were
it's
gonna
too
say
easy.
Bitcoin.
That's the new bond. That's going to take care of you. Yeah, until it loses 8% in one day.
Yeah, and it's funny because we recorded an episode where we talked about a sailor, Michael Saylor, the guy who's got the biggest hoard of Bitcoin in the world. Can you imagine? And he's leveraged into that
know.
Bitcoin. Can you imagine how much pain he suffered yesterday watching it go down that much. But it's back up 2.5% now.
Oh, okay. You're all set. It's still up like 80% this year. I think I read.
We weren't going to do Bitcoin, but I want to reiterate this point. Who wants a currency that can be down 8% one day and up over 2% the next? What kind of currency does that?
The Weimar Republic, Argentinian
No, it was always down. They never went up. It was always down.
The certain Argentinian administrations, I believe, correct? And nobody else I can think of historically. Okay,
Yeah,
but let's just very quickly, because some people actually may be concerned about what happened Friday, what this all means to them.
You mean we have to take it seriously now?
We could. We don't have to. We can do anything we like, but we
can do
might
that.
be a good idea. So
Yeah, go.
what do we do? What do we do?
You do the serious part. I'll just hang out.
Because I'm Mr. Serious Money?
You are.
Yeah, you're just. Okay, number one, right? You know this because you've heard us say this before. You have a plan.
Broken record.
Yeah, I know. Number two, you have
Not
a portfolio
Black Friday, it's
that
broken record. Oh, it's broken record.
you
Saturday.
have a portfolio that supports that plan. It has the right mix of riskier things like stocks. And yes, believe it or not, even though they're down this year, a whopping 3%, less risky things like bonds. That keeps you kind of centered there, and then you don't get up and worry. And by the way, you also determine how long until you need the money, how much volatility you're willing to accept, because you've got to know that. That's why we give you the risk quiz absolutely free at our website. Then once all those things are in place, Black Friday is, well, here in the great state of Washington, about the Apple Cup or other stuff, and not about worrying about your money, because you shouldn't be worrying about your money on a day like Friday.
As a matter of fact, as one who has adopted that well-diversified strategy and had it for a while, I can tell you I absolutely do not feel the need to even look at what the stock market is doing day to day. I don't look. If somebody doesn't tell me, I'm in this business and I don't know.
And you shouldn't be watching it day by. We're joking. We manage about $725 million of other people's money. Yes, we're watching that money
Not
every day.
me.
Are we trading it? No, you're sitting in your little cubbyhole hoping everything will be okay.
No, I'm pretty confident it will be okay because the evidence backs me up.
Yeah, the evidence does over the long haul. It does.
It
back
backs
you
me
up.
up.
Yeah, I concur. But
As a matter
the
of
thing is-
fact, I got to thank you. I actually
Me?
sincerely thank you for something.
Uh-oh.
For turning me on to the book Trillions.
yeah, you're actually reading it.
My gosh. Trillions should be required reading for every investor in the world.
It's kind of insider baseball.
No, it's
though.
not. It's so well written, and it's
well
got
written.
these great narratives about these people, and you learn a lot about these fascinating people. But what you really learn about is the facts behind what we have been espousing for so many years, and it's based on all of the work that these people did over the last 50, 60, 70 years. Really incredible stuff in this book. It is so this is the first time in years I've actually taken notes in a book. I've highlighted areas and taken
Really?
notes and
Annotated book by Don McDonald?
actually I annotated the heck out of the darn thing.
Wow, look at
But
you.
it's an
Okay.
ebook, so you can annotate easier.
The truth, I gave it to a couple of people that are like our raving fans, and one wrote back, said really, really enjoying it. It's got a lot on John Bogle, who I think somebody you should pay attention to. It's got a nice chapter on dimensional funds. Larry Glotz. Anyway, so it's got some stuff in there that you might find interesting.
And it's got a lot of great stuff that I think I'm going to add bits and snippets to support my thesis in financial physics. I'm seriously, I'm in the process of rewriting financial physics, and I'm going to use a few of the quotes from here because they're so pithy.
Yeah, it's Robin Wigglesworth.
Robin Wigglesworth. We made fun of Robin Wigglesworth not too long back, didn't we?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well,
I think it's a good piece.
How profoundly British is that name? Well, it's not just British, it's highfalutin British.
We don't get a lot of these, so I'm going to throw this out there right now because someone just wrote me, said, please say Merry Christmas to superfan Tracy. So Merry Christmas, Tracy. How's that?
Shout-outs?
I know, we don't do that very often, so there you go, Tracy.
And the only one who does it
one.
is Tom.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
A second opinion could save your life either physically or fiscally. Let one of our Vestory advisors help you save your future at Vestory.com, Vestory.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
I'm sorry I laughed coming out of the break, but I was just reading some of our questions.
A lot of them.
And comments that are sent in to talkingrealmoney.com. I think this one really isn't a question. This is a comment, so I'm going to save this for a future episode. And
Is it positive and uplifting? Because it's the holidays. Come on.
It's really long. It's really, really, really.
Another one of
really,
these 1,000-word things about,
Yes.
it all started with a 10-watt
Definitely
radio station
is.
or something.
Yeah, it's really. Let's just do this one, shall we?
Okay, yeah.
It's shorter. Oh, by the way, this question, instead of being called in to 855-935-TALK, which you can use right now to call us with a question, this one was sent in to talkingrealmoney.com. And the topic, Tom, is robo-advisors. And this comes out of Nebraska, the great state of Nebraska.
Sure, yeah.
The heart of the Midwest. Hello, Tom and Don. You get top billing.
Ooh.
I wanted to ask your opinion on robo-advisors for a non-tax advantaged account. Good idea? If so, is there one that you would recommend? Perhaps one that does tax loss harvesting? My background here is that over the years, my husband and I have challenged ourselves to increase our contributions to our tax-advantaged accounts, periodically adding a few percent more, and then adding once more. We begin tolerating the higher once we begin tolerating the higher deduction. We finally reached a point where we've maxed out all the tax-advantaged contributions, but would like to continue this increasing contribution until we both retire in about 10 years. It's a great idea. We have a bit of cash right now that we can invest and hopefully have increasing contributions to those as well. Love your show. Every time I'm tempted to tinker, I hear you and Paul Merriman's voices telling me to trust my allocations and just leave them be.
At least not tempted to tinkle.
Here's another one where I'm reading between the lines.
Okay, well, let's
Think
first
about
go
it.
back.
Tax loss harvesting.
Let's go back to that. That's where I was going to start, right? Because while it's an important concept for most people, it's not something. Okay, tax loss harvesting is there so you can offset gains with losses.
Yeah.
Right. So you sell stuff that has gone down. I guess you could sell stuff that went down on Friday, I guess, or something. But of course, for the year, it hasn't gone down, or certainly last year, almost everything's gone up. But anyway, you book those losses and then against future gains. It's a practice that there's a few people that should be doing it, but not very many. It wouldn't be how I wouldn't put my portfolio together with that in mind. When those situations arise, as maybe they did in March 2020 or the fall of 2008, sure, you could sell something, book some losses, have those into the future. But I wouldn't hire a robo-advisor for that. And frankly, I don't know which robo-advisor actually does tax loss harvesting. As you heard us on this program, we've talked about Acorns, which we like because it's automated, it's pretty low cost, and it uses exchange-traded funds that are really cheap. You build they build the portfolio for you. They rebalance it. I don't know that they do tax loss harvesting there. And again, I'm not sure that that's a reason to make a decision between one or another.
Yeah. Wealthfront does tax loss harvesting.
Okay.
But here's the thing. We believe if you are going to invest on your own, you want to keep it simple, because if you start getting into the more complicated, building these complex portfolios, even with a robo, you will not, you lose the biggest thing that an advisor gives you, and that's the psychological and emotional control that is provided. It's fine to do it that way. But I worry when people do this, and then, as you said, you second guess yourself. You're tempted to tinker, and when you're robo advising, you don't have anyone sitting, literally just practically sitting on your shoulder, talking into your ear, saying, "Sorry, you can't do that. That's bad for you. Don't tinker. Don't tinker. Don't tinker."
Well, let's just kick it down the road. They said 10 years until retirement. Let's assume they put it in something. You get, I don't know, a double, hopefully in 10 years, right?
Sure, about 7%. Sure. Okay,
yeah, you get
reasonable.
a double, and now your 100,000's 200, but you got to start drawing on that at some period of time. It's still not going to be a huge tax burden because in today's tax world, you're going to be paying 15% on those gains. I Again, for huge amounts, big portfolios, yeah, probably makes sense to be paying attention.
Yeah,
sure.
multi-million.
But under that, not that big a deal.
Yeah, we all think, we tend to put that cart in front of the horse, and we think that taxes are so important when they're really not. It's more important the fees that you pay. It's more important the quality of the product you get into, or the lack of apparent quality, which means just owning the market, which is what they talk about in trillions. But, really, you can just do that by being in a couple of mutual funds with Schwab or Fidelity at little or no cost.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Tom and I created Vestory to help everyone become a better investor, even those who will never be clients. Let one of our advisors help you start your financial plan or solve a money problem free with no obligation or high-pressure sales pitch at Vestory.com, Vestory.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
We have this lonely, unused phone number. 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. Apparently, as we approach 1,000 podcast episodes in just about a week, we've answered every possible question
come on.
in America. There are no more questions left to be asked.
Sure there are.
No, there aren't, apparently.
A lot of distracted people out there.
Oh,
you think avoid the puddles?
You think it may be Dark Gray Saturday that's got them?
Only till about May. Yeah.
I went next door to a neighbor's house who was picking up our mail while we were gone a couple of days for Thanksgiving. And she goes, "Don't go out between now and Christmas. Just don't go out." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Oh, my gosh, we went to Disney Springs, and it's insane." Disney Springs is the Disney shopping area. Yeah. And we went out today a little bit just for lunch. And I hate living in a tourist community sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you're the spot right now.
Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Because you got that soap that's just like snow.
Oh, I hate the Snope.
Pardon me.
855-935. I call it.
Call now.
855-935-8255.
You're going to want to wait till later, and then it'll be busy.
You can also send your questions in at talkingrealmoney.com. You can type them or you can record them there. And this gentleman typed his in, and it's a very nice note. It is. He says, "First, I would like to thank you for your podcast." He's a podcast listener. This show becomes a podcast, by the way, on Monday. I started listening 2 months ago, and I've learned a great deal. I've called and talked to one of your advisors, and it was absolutely great.
That's good to hear.
Advisors, they did a good job. Your witty levity and frank honesty make it an addictive listen.
Wow.
In a recent attempt to consolidate investments and clean up our portfolio hodgepodgery, my wife and I have been able to move 3 traditional 401ks, 2 Roth IRAs, and a brokerage account into Vanguard. I couldn't resist.
That's pretty good.
I couldn't resist. It's Christmas time coming up. Anyway, we have also canceled 2 whole life policies and collected the cash value in order to better utilize the cash for investing.
Wow.
My wife and I contribute the maximum amount to both of our Roth IRAs each year.
Which is the same next year, I think, right?
Are also both active duty in the Army.
Wow. So
and
they're in the TSP.
10% to each of our TSPs.
Wonderful.
Roth Life Cycle 2050. We are both 34. We do not receive a match of any amount within that. My question is this. Is there a TSP equivalent we could use at Vanguard? If so, is there any advantage, disadvantage to moving our TSP funds to a Vanguard equivalent outside of the psychological benefit of being consolidated? Thank you for all you do. Appreciate your answer.
Okay, the first question would have to be answered is, I'm not sure you can do an in-service distribution at 34 years old. I don't think so. Generally, you can only do that after age 55. Generally. So that would be one. I don't know the answer to that if the TSP allows that kind of movement. But then the question would be, okay, so if you're going to move the money over to Vanguard, what would you do with it? In other words, the question on the table, I guess, is there an equivalent Vanguard Target
2050.
Date Fund
There
2050.
is.
Sure, same thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not gonna be
Vanguard
a whole
Target
lot
Date
different.
2050. It's going to be very, very similar. Low price. And an in-service withdrawal from the thrift savings plan is a bad idea.
Yeah, no, the costs
it
are very low.
can be done under the special circumstances,
Yeah.
but you take yourself out of the using it forever, and that's not a good thing. You
Out
have
of
to be
using
at
it, so
least
you
59
can't do,
and a half to take
okay,
one clean.
59.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good idea. But just and to go back to the Vanguard situation, you could do this 2-fund portfolio that I've really come to love, and that is target date for 80% of it, 20% of it in the Vanguard
stole
U.S.
that
Small
from
Value.
Paul Merriman.
Everything else.
Give him credit.
Like everything else.
I recently stole this from Paul Merriman and
Not
his
recently.
incredible audiobook narrated
remember the
by
title
an
of it.
incredible narrator.
Oh, that's you. Yeah, okay. What's the name of it?
We're talking millions.
Oh, okay. All right, good. You remember.
It's an incredible audiobook. Don't read the regular book. Just listen to the audiobook. I want to sell more audiobooks on Audible. I don't get anything for it. I did it for Paul for free. But it's a good one. 855-935-TALK is our number. Give us a call.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Is your portfolio a mess? You may have a case of hodgepodgeitis, but don't worry, we can help. Just set up a free, no-obligation meeting with a Vestory advisor at Vestory.com. No sales pitch, guaranteed. That's Vestory.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hey, hi, welcome back to our little get-together. You just have no idea what we talk about during the breaks. And
Nor do you want to know.
Good thing. Nor do you want to know. It's really true. 855-935-TALK is the number to talk real money on Talking Real Money, because that's the name of our show, and that's what we do in that order. Tiffany, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi there.
Hi, Tiff.
Hey.
What's up?
Hi. So I have a question. I'm wondering if I should pay off my house.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough to do it, and otherwise the money's just kind of sitting there. So I'm 51 and plan to continue working for another 10 to 15 years. And so I guess the question is, pay off the house or put it into the market?
Well, I would say after Friday, put it right in the market, but that's just kidding aside.
How much money are we talking about, Tiffany?
Maybe $300,000,
Well.
roughly.
Well,
And what's the interest rate on your home mortgage?
Oh gosh, I think it's 4.75.
We could get you, Don, could get you a cheaper note than that by Sunday. And how much is left how much is left to be paid off?
I think I have a balance of about maybe 220.
Okay.
Now,
And
Tiffany,
how are your-
let me ask you a
one
really
other question.
important
Go
question.
ahead.
This is
Yep.
so important. Do you really, deep down inside, believe this is your forever house?
No.
There you go. Now,
And how liquid, in other words, how much, you can be specific or
this is good.
non-specific as you like, but how much liquid, like 401k money, all that stuff do you have set aside? Ballpark.
Maybe another 300,000, an additional 300,000,
this is an
and
easy
then I
one.
also have a
Yeah.
pension.
Me too.
This is an easy one. This is an easy answer.
Number one, you got to refi that. You got to refi that
Yep.
mortgage at 4.7 because you
Yep.
could get about half of that today.
Yep.
Maybe even less.
With rates going down on Friday, mortgage rates
Yeah.
on Monday could be back
Yeah.
down to 2 3/4.
Number two, yes, you should be saving, but you should do it correctly. So in other words, if you're eligible for a Roth IRA, that would be the first hunk of money would go there. You could do a contribution for now 2021 and almost 2022. Then the rest of it would go in an after-tax account. Yes, it should be invested. It should be kept liquid. Don is exactly right. Especially if you're not, this isn't going to be the quote unquote forever home, which turns out many of them are not as people, even though they say it is. So, no, that's easy.
And another question I have for you, Tiffany, how many years are left on your mortgage before it pays off? again, ballpark?
I think it's another 15.
Perfect. You can refinance right now, today, at 2.65% for 15 years.
How many points?
Zero, nothing.
Ugh, crazy. I'd go get that
Nothing.
done next week.
Nothing. So you can drop your payment down. You're going to drop your payment down, giving you more money to save for retirement and keeping the liquidity that we believe is so critical. If something happened down the road and you had to quit work or for some reason, you were disabled, you'd have these smaller house payments and you'd have this big pool of money, of invested capital off of which you can immediately live. Immediately. And just to let you know, we are not just saying these words. Tom and I both have the ability to pay off our mortgages if we wanted to. But we have low interest mortgages and we invest our capital. We don't leave it in the house where it's likely to do a lot less for us long term, and it's illiquid.
And in addition to that, before we go to the next call, believe it or not, stocks have made more than real estate over the long haul. Believe it or not.
Over 100 years.
Believe it or
Over
not. Believe it or
100
not.
years.
Everybody's gonna argue with you,
Substantially
but
more.
I know. They're going to argue with you, but it's the
It's
truth.
not true. Thanks for the call, Tiffany. We wish you the best, but do refinance. That's great. Just you are in such a perfect situation and you got all this capital and you can really start investing for real. You know, you may want to even find a fiduciary advisor to help you do that because it can be a little daunting and confusing. Thanks for the call. 855-935-TALKS the number. And Cindy, you're next.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, Cindy.
I have a couple questions. My husband's turning 65 tomorrow, and he's still working. So he does not plan on drawing Social Security because we don't need the income right now. I stay at home, and I'm right behind him. I'll be 65 soon. He's been doing some retirement planner online. We have all of our investments in Vanguard.
Cool.
We do not own a home. So he says we're looking good for retirement. But he wants me to go to a different website and plug in our stuff and see what I come up with. And I was wondering if you could recommend a website for that.
Well, while Don comes up with that, can I make another recommendation? First of all, happy birthday to husband. Tomorrow. Wow, big day. So here's the thing. And it feels threatening to many people because you've been a do-it-yourselfer at Vanguard. I still think, and by the way, you could do it at Vanguard. You can still call their people. They will give you a free hour and a half. Other people in the business will still give you an hour or two to look at your plan to say, think about this. Here's things to consider. Generally at no charge, no obligation. Not everybody, but most fiduciary advisors will still do that. I would do that rather than plugging in the numbers because oftentimes people plug in the numbers and they forget a few things or they don't quite have it exactly right. That can be a problem sometimes if you're getting ready to retire. Don?
Yeah, I agree. I've used a number of those online planning tools and find them all to be okay, but they fall short. There's a ton of them online, and I don't have one that I'm particularly enamored with. I've used the one at NerdWallet. There's a bunch of them I played with, and none of them really blew me away. So I would just go do an online search and try a couple. But I think the idea of getting somebody to actually kind of go over it with you, somebody who's not a stockbroker.
Yeah, not somebody going to sell you something.
Yeah,
which
somebody
is a threat.
who's truly a fiduciary advisor.
Yeah.
And
we have a list of them at TalkingRealMoney.com.
At TalkingRealMoney.com. You can go look them up. TalkingRealMoney.com/help. HELP. Let's go really fast to Pat. Pat, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm so glad I made it onto this part because the person who wrote in about the TSP Vanguard thing.
Yes, ma'am.
A couple months ago in my union newsletter, I'm a retired federal worker, there was a note about, it sounded like coming this spring or summer, the TSP was going to have a lot more access to other things, and I almost thought Vanguard funds were going to be in there. So
Oh,
Well,
they're going to
then-
add, because they've been proprietary to this point. In other words, these are their own funds. The government bond
Right.
fund, you own those bonds. I can't even get access to them. They're issued for that particular fund. And yes, we'd love to see them have more options. The funds are very good because they're low cost. They have decent diversification, not as much as we'd like to see. And we'll talk more about this next hour because it's an important part of building a great portfolio. So yeah, anything added to the TSP probably be positive.
Particularly if they add some of the things that are more out there, emerging markets, small cap value, those kinds of things. That would really be great for retirees. Thank you so much for the call, Pat. We'll be right back.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
A second opinion could save your life either physically or fiscally. Let one of our Vestory advisors help you save your future at Vestory.com, Vestory.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Now, we're going to try in February. We're going to try to do Retire Meet live in 2022. Of course, we had no idea there was going to be an Omicron, but we're going to try to do a live Retire Meet in Bellevue in 2022. So you can go get tickets for it right now and save a bunch of money and get the Maidenbauer sandwich by going to retiremeet.com.
And you're going to learn about everything from the money part to the housing part to the estate planning part to protect yourself from fraud. It is a tremendous one-day event. Yes, come see us in Bellevue, or if you prefer, you can do it all online, retiremeet.com.
RetireMeet.com.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately and consistently predict the future, so past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Apella Capital, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. Are we done now?